What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're going to be looking at the brand new super evolution of Legend Rumble Kuma. The thing is he's kind of difficult to showcase in normal content, considering his abilities are really terrible. Like, you're really not ever going to use this guy in normal content, so I thought it'd be a good idea to show this character off in Pirate Rumble and show you guys exactly what he's capable of. What I will say is that my Kuma does not have a lot of investments in level limit break. He's only at level limit break 2, so he doesn't really have like the buffed passives, the buff Rumble special. I will say that the buffed Rumble special does give you a little bit of an edge against opponents that do have debuffer style characters, but I think in most cases, if you're just worried about pure damage from Kuma's standpoint, then you don't really need investments with him, honestly. So in this video in particular, we are going to be using Kuma in a full strength team, this exact same squad, up against all of the challenge difficulty bosses that are the Dex type. And I feel like this is a good way to showcase him because you're not really going to be using Kuma in non-strength teams a lot of the time. And another thing is that, like, if you're building a strength team, you're most likely not using a strength team against anything except for Dex. So I feel like this is a pretty good showcase of how you would realistically use this guy. And obviously the good thing about these Rumble Legends is that they are only 20 costs, so they're very easy to inject into your squads. And I mean, even if you wanted to use him in a non-strength focused team, you could definitely get away with doing that, considering his Rumble ability is relatively self-sufficient, is that it gives him a lot of buffs. It gives a lot of buffs to strength, lots of attack bonuses. Every time he blows away an enemy, he gets attack bonuses to all your strength allies. And then if there's debuff characters on the field, then he can potentially give them a special CT decrease, which is a huge asset against like the big hitters in the meta currently, like Nami and Karina, and even the most recently revealed Usopp and Lilith. That's also going to be another debuff character you want to be on the lookout for when you face them in Pirate Rumble. And of course, the big highlight with Bartholomew Kuma is going to be his Rumble special, which is quite incredible, honestly. For being a 20 cost character, having a special at a 28 CT is very, very good. You know, initially just doing 2.5 times damage in a large range is already really nice. And then he also does that, the big thing obviously being the 2 times damage ignoring defense. Before his super evolution, that ignoring defense damage would only target 2 opposing characters. Now, with the most recent buffs, it actually targets 3 characters instead. So it's a huge bump, considering, you know, we have characters in the meta such as like S-Hawk being able to do so much damage through defense to 3 targets. This guy also can do that. So he's basically like a strength version of S-Hawk in a way, I guess you could kind of put it. With his super evolution as well, he does state that if you do have 6 or more strength allies, then he will target a debuffer style enemy with a 100% chance of forcing them out. So not only just doing a ton of damage to 3 targets, but even if any of them are still alive after that, if there's a debuff unit, he can just blow them away for 10 seconds, which of course force out is a very strong mechanic, because, you know, if you get down to the end of the game and there's only, you know, 1 character left and you force them out, you just instantly win the game. So this has a lot of this has a lot of potential to be quite good. The thing is there aren't that many debuff style characters on opposing teams. Most of the time they'll have maybe 1 or 2. It's typically uncommon that you're not going to come up against a lot of them. But I guess being able to blow them away is a good thing. The real issue is getting this special to launch before these characters can launch their specials against you. Like Nami and Karina being free spirit and cerebral focused, can be put in a lot of different teams. Great rumble ability. So I think using a special such as this before they have an opportunity to use their special against you might be one of the most difficult things to kind of work out with this guy. So the first 2 clips of this video up against Pell and Bullet are, you know, some of the older Dex challenge difficulty bosses to come up against. But now we're getting into the 2 most recent ones against S-Shark, which is kind of like powerhouse and fighter focused, which is kind of whatever, but the final clip of the video is definitely the one that you want to be looking at when we go up against Avalo Pizarro. But what I will say is that all of these clips that I recorded, I won in the first attempt. So, you know, this strength team is pretty powerful. But the good thing is that, like, strength has a lot of good characters. Even the most recently released New Year's characters of, like, Monkey D. Luffy, for example. He's a strength unit. He is a fighter unit, a free spirit. You can use him with this Kuma. Worked very well on a strength team. I did still opt to use the 9.5 anniversary Luffy from Film Red. Mainly just because his rumble ability is a little bit more defensively focused, which can help out. You know, he's got that self-shield to keep him alive as long as possible. And the Luffy has an incredibly powerful special, being able to do so many hits through defense. So that's what I really wanted to focus in on, is have like Kuma and Luffy be our big damage dealers. We have supports via Jack, giving some defense and some health cuts, which can make our damage through defense have a higher chance to get those knockouts. We have Otama, which gives additional special CT and the healing, very consistent healing to keep us alive. And then of course we do have Kobe. Kobe is a really nice asset to the team for our fighter characters, because the whole team is fighter on the front line except for Kuma himself. So you know, Kobe has the special which can you know, reduce special CT and haste the characters to go to the top of the order, which just allows the rest of the team to function. And then Kuma just supports there on the side, being a unit that can provide mass amounts of attack increase for our squad, and then also of course with his amazing special ability to help wave clear opponents. So the strength team currently in Pirate Rumble, I think, is extremely strong, but it really comes down to your opponents that you're going up against. And I do feel like in most cases, you're probably not going to be using a strength team up against anything that isn't going to be a fully dex-focused squad. There are just so many variables, and the fact that a lot of these strength units do have, you know, resistances where they take less damage from dex enemies, that is a big difference, especially considering the dex team currently in Rumble is one of the best teams in the game. The dex powerhouse-focused squad with Avalo Pizarro versus Kaido, Blackbeard, even just running characters like 10th Anniversary Ace on those teams, they can be very tricky to get through, and they are definitely one of the better teams currently in the meta. And I feel like this squad that we have right here is a very good squad to go up against those high-level dex teams. So if you do have the you know, some of the supporting characters that you're seeing on this team, specifically like Monkey D. Luffy, whether it be this Luffy or the New Year's Luffy, Legend Jack being a great asset, there's so many other characters you can be using on this team, and Strength have access to some of the best Pirate Rumble rare recruits. You know, they've got a very large array of them. Not all of them are great, but you know, there's some good ones out there, like on this team, for example, using the Legend Sakazuki, and also like Rumble King, for example. Page 1 recently got a buff with the most recent list of Rumble buffs. So overall, I think this is a really fun character to use, a really nice update to this character. Basically having a strength version of S-Hawk can't be a terrible thing to have on your side. So anyways, that is going to wrap it up from me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you guys have used Kuma thus far, I would love to hear what your guys' opinion is on this guy. I think he's a really good 6+ in the Rumble aspect. It is just such a shame that he's really not good in normal content. But hopefully you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.